Hello again, everyone. The mayor is here and our guest of honor has arrived, so we're going to start the program. And the first thing on the program is the posting of the colors by the Police and Fire Honor Guard. Please stand as they approach.
Post. Right. Face. Forward. March.
Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Presenting the national anthem will be, the Select Ensemble from Centennial High School.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was
That brought back high school memories, and yes, I can remember that long ago. I'm Lynn Snodgrass, the CEO of the Gresham Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm really glad to be here too, and I'm very glad that you are here as well. I would like to start today by introducing the public servants that we have among us today, but I'd like you to hold your applause because I'm going to introduce a dozen of them. Our honored guest today, Congressman Earl Blumenauer, State Representatives Ricky Ruiz and Maxine Dexter, the Mayor of Gresham, Travis Stovall, the Mayor of Hillsborough, Steve Calloway, Portland City Commissioner Renee Gonzalez, Multnomah County District Attorney Mike Schmidt, Gresham City Council President Sue Piazza, Gresham Councilors Janine Gladfelter, Vincent Jones-Dixon, Dina Danucci, Jerry Hinton, and Eddie Morales. Thank you all for your public service. The Chamber was pleased to be asked to co-host the State of the City event again this year. The Chamber and the City have a strong partnership. That doesn't mean we agree on everything. But what it does mean is that we respect the role that each of us play to make a great community. We sharpen each other's swords to make the community vital and prosperous. And the beneficiaries of that partnership are the citizens. The Chamber has over 400 members, including public and private businesses, small, medium, and large, nonprofits, and that equals well over 28,000 employees. And those employees live here, shop here, and support the city and the region. Looking around the room here, there are a lot of Chamber members that are here, or people that work for Chamber members. Our audience is full of people who make a difference in our community. For instance, people like the president and 3 board members of Mount Hood Community College are here. The president of Legacy Mount Hood Medical Hospital. There are 5 people from the Port of Portland here and TriMet directors. The superintendents of all 3 school districts are here. 37 business owners are with us today, including small business owner Mayor Travis Stovall. Northwest Natural Gas, PGE, a dozen nonprofits, lawyers in private practice like Warner Allen and public practice like Nathan Vasquez, 7 senior living facilities are represented, an organic farmer who was all about organics before it was popular to be organic is here. We've got bankers, a former mayor, a former Metro councilor, and former commissioner, and even a 4-time Jeopardy winner who will be on stage a little bit later, and it's not me. You are all leaders in your own right, in your own spheres of influence, and you're leaders in our community. You're making a difference, but everyone else at your table is too, equally so. When we shop in Gresham, we make a difference in Gresham. If we live in Gresham, we make a difference in our community. If we volunteer or work in Gresham, we make a difference, and I know that now I have included every single person here. The point? We all make a difference. You're important. And it's not a campaign slogan by a former political hack. You're important. When Drake and I started our business 4 decades ago, we skimped and scraped to make it work. We did everything we could to get customers in. Our goal was to hire an employee because we worked 7 days a week all year round. And we did that. I didn't feel important at that time. I didn't feel like I was making a difference, except when I paid my mortgage. But I didn't feel like I was making a difference in the community. I know better now. We were making a difference. All size businesses make a difference. They're all important. We all know what we need personally to do to continue to live and work in our community. And we all share in those needs. Safe streets, good schools, usable parks, an efficient and well-run city government, and a place to call home, and yes, thriving businesses. How we support what we need comes from our taxes and consumer spending. Businesses will stay in Gresham if they're safe. Parents will choose Gresham schools to educate their kids if they're safe. Home ownership will increase if it's safe to own a home or to rent a home here in Gresham. And seniors will retire in Gresham if they know that in an emergency, the phone will be answered and the fire department will come immediately. The partnership between the city and the chamber includes, among many issues, wanting to have a safer community, and that's why we're going shoulder to shoulder with them to get the levy passed for a safer community. We know and trust that the city will be good stewards of our tax dollars that the levy will provide. The chamber will continue to make a difference in Gresham as we advocate, educate, and collaborate with not only our members, but citizens in the region. The chamber wants what you want. We want vital neighborhoods, school kids playing in parks. We want streets where traffic rules are followed. And yes, we want thriving businesses. Remember, you're important, and you can make a difference. Please take advantage of any opportunity that you're given to continue to make a difference, however small you think it is. Let's be partners, and let's make Gresham prosperous, safe, and full of vitality together. Today is the State of the City event. It's a showcase brought to you by Mayor Stovall. He's our 28th mayor, graduated from University of Nebraska-Lincoln. He has a master's degree in business administration. He's an entrepreneur, co-founder and CEO of eRep, helping companies and individuals be successful. He's a former board member of TriMet and many other organizations, and he's past president of the Gresham Area Chamber of Commerce, right? He's active as a cyclist, a private pilot, and a tennis player. The only thing that's not on his biography right now is pickleball. It's my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Mayor Stovall.
If you all would just bear with me for a moment. Where's the camera? Hi, Mom. She's not watching, but hey, I've got to make sure that if she ever does, I give her the right props. Because my dad used to always say a phrase, dance with the one who brung you. And she brought me into this world. So just want to always pay props to the people that get us to where we've gotten, because we don't do it alone. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Wow, it's so good to see all of you here in Gresham, esteemed members of our community and beyond. I see so many friendly faces that I don't always get to see. I was just talking to somebody the other day and they said, hey, I've known you and they referenced how many years. And I turned back to them and I said, well, actually, you're gonna have to start referencing how long we've known each other by how many pounds I've gained. So, I just want to welcome all of you to the Gresham City State of the City Address 2024. Lynn, I want to thank you again for your welcome and giving us those comments and making sure that everybody who is here in attendance feels welcomed. I want to thank you for your leadership and the services you provide for this community and our state. I also want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for co-hosting this lunch. The State of the City is one of the most enjoyable things I get to do each and every year. It gives me a chance to highlight good people and good work and preview the opportunities and obstacles that may lay ahead. As mayor, I work with 6 other incredible professionals who serve our city with passion and care. This city council demonstrates what leadership, collaboration, friendship is all about. I want to highlight Council President Piazza, Councilors Morales, Hinton, Jones-Dixon, Gladfelter, and Danucci. Please join me in a big round of applause for our leadership and our elected officials. And I just want to extend a personal thank you to my council. I get to brag about you all the time and every chance I get because we work well together. And as I continue, I'm reminded of profound words by writer and author Jeff Warner. We are not put on this earth for ourselves, but are placed here for each other. If you are there always for others, then in time of need, someone will be there for you. This quote also embodies the life and legacy of public service of Congressman Earl Blumenauer. Today, we get to honor Earl and everything that he's done. Earl, you've contributed to Gresham, Portland, Multnomah County, and all of Oregon, and we are all better because of your leadership. Let's give a big round of applause for Congressman Earl Blumenauer. We'll have a little bit more extended thank you here just a few moments from now. And we are just so happy that you could take the time out to be with us today here in East County and in Gresham. Because today I want to highlight two essential areas that are vital to maintaining and enhancing the state of our city and our quality of life here in Gresham. The right of everyone in Gresham to feel safe in their home in our community is critical. And also the need for economic security and opportunity for everyone who calls Gresham their home. Gresham is a safe community, but for too long, we've pushed the limits of the bravery of our first responder heroes. As the fourth largest city in the state of Oregon, for too long, we have taken for granted the ability for our firefighters, our police officers, and all of the personnel in our police and fire departments to answer the call whenever we need them. And they always answer the call. We must finally recognize that Gresham has too few firefighters and police officers for a city our size. Over the decades, our city has grown substantially, and we have failed to adequately grow the ranks of those who we turn to in crises or an emergency. Heroes like firefighter and EMT Brian Edward Flowers, and firefighter, paramedic Brandon Noberry. Two fallen firefighters we tragically lost in 2023. Next month, we have the opportunity to make progress in fixing this problem by approving a dedicated fire and police levy for our city. A dedicated levy is needed to retain existing and hire additional 22 police and fire personnel, 13 firefighters and 9 police officers. More emergency responders in Gresham will mean quicker responses, less expensive overtime, and a safer community. Even without a levy, in the face of ever-increasing calls for fire and police service, rising community concerns over public safety, we are not standing still. In recent years, the City Council dedicated $7.7 million for one-time federal funds. Thank you very much, Congressman. One-time federal funds from the American Rescue Plan Act to retain police and fire and to enhance public safety. While we're on the topic of the American Rescue Plan Act, let's actually take a moment and see some of the things that Gresham has been investing in with those American Rescue Plan Act and ARPA funds.
ARPA. You probably heard that term by now. In shorthand, it stands for the American Rescue Plan Act. We also think ARPA could stand for Accelerating Recovery, Progress, and Advancement.
That's because this federal ARPA Pandemic Relief Program has been a powerful funding bridge for our community, flowing stopgap resources into important city services over the last 2 budget cycles.
Because of the ARPA Alliance, and most importantly, Congressman Earl Blumenauer, Senator Ron Wyden, and Senator Jeff Merkley, who championed and supported this bill, Gresham has never been the same since.
We've been able to avoid layoff of police and firefighters, fund high-benefit community programs and projects, and keep on rolling despite tough challenges facing all local governments. We are incredibly grateful.
ARPA grants kept many Gresham businesses afloat, like mine, at a time when our businesses needed extra support to cover rent and payroll and simply be there for our community.
This included awarding 80 small businesses grants to ease pandemic-related financial impacts on businesses. Half went to state-certified women, minorities, veterans, and emerging businesses. Thank you, ARPA.
There you go.
ARPA helped us maintain minimum public safety staffing and provided essential resources at a time when our police and fire crews and city budgets were already stretched.
Our community is safer today because of ARPA. ARPA help included hiring police positions to address the rise in violent crime across the region, funding police community safety specialists, which are trained civilian positions who can handle nonviolent police calls, such as property crime reports, directing traffic, and community relations. Police community safety missions to reduce gun violence and vehicle theft, and safety equipment and training.
Adding firefighter paramedic limited term positions, replacing an aging fire training tower, purchasing life-saving cardiac equipment, and making critical fire station safety improvements. Thank you, ARPA.
ARPA dollars have allowed the city to boost assistance for people struggling with food scarcity and utility bills through its own assistance program and nonprofit food pantries. To date, we have provided more than 800 utility assistance payments to customers experiencing financial hardship. Thank you, ARPA.
ARPA has been there for our kids in our community by bringing city partners and at-risk youth together for essential life skills and leadership development at the gym, at the community events, and in many other venues. Last year, we served approximately 5,000 East County youth.
I've had a lot of kind and respectful experiences here at the gym with kind and respectful people, and that's why I'm here tonight.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, ARPA.
ARPA has allowed the city to invest in outdoor spaces for community health, enjoyment, and well-being, pushing long-desired projects toward the finish line. This includes providing significant financial support for the completion of Graydon Community Sports Park with tournament-quality fields, as well as a playground, a dog park, and pickleball courts.
I'm excited to have these sorts of resources in Gresham.
Thank you, ARPA.
I just want to take a moment and give those those staff a big round of applause. We didn't even have to go out to outside talent for that. As a matter of fact, there were no police chiefs or fire chiefs harmed in the taping of that video. So those are the smart investments that we're making in Gresham. And furthermore, we're not just leveraging the things that we've always done. We're actually pioneering some key areas in these investments. We've piloted what we call our Police Community Safety Specialist Program, which uses trained civilian positions to handle nonviolent police calls to allow more sworn patrol officers to focus on frontline crime prevention and response. Since May of last year, Gresham Police have participated in 14 vehicle operations with our agency partners, Multnomah County and City of Portland, and those efforts, and helping to reduce vehicle thefts by 5% in East County. We welcomed 12 new firefighters through our firefighter recruitment academies, strengthening our frontline defense against emergencies. And we focused on addressing the root causes of community violence, especially with young people, through our East Multnomah Outreach Program and Prevention and Intervention Program, EMOPI. This is a partnership between the city and culturally specific community groups that provides youth and families with practical, personal, and professional skills, education and training, and physical and mental health services. Because here in Gresham, we believe that in order to lift up our most vulnerable populations, we must invest in our most vulnerable communities. And we're not alone. Thanks to great work by Gresham's state legislative leaders, the city has received state funding, grant funding, the past 2 years for prevention and intervention and outreach. Thank you. And for our youth in East County and Multnomah County and Gresham. These programs work, folks. In 2 years, shootings are down by 1/3, and over 1,500 youth and families have accessed a range of services, resulting in increased school attendance, reduced gun violence, and expanded work opportunities for a brighter future. The city has also received additional allocations from our state and federal partners, including $3 million from the Oregon legislature for essential infrastructure and upgrades at the 13-acre former Kmart site, which I get questions all the time about that location. This is facilitating its transformation now into a vibrant commercial and residential hub. And another $500,000 from the state legislature has also been allocated to replace our outdated firefighter training tower, essential for training new firefighters. A special thank you to Senator Chris Gorsuch, Representative Ricky Ruiz, Zach Hudson, and their support and leadership in the Oregon legislature. Additionally, the wastewater treatment facility will receive $959,000 thanks to the work of Congressman Earl Blumenauer and Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley. And this is for a nitrification project. I know all of you are taking notes. I don't see any of you writing. Nitrification project. And if there's a special bonus, if somebody can tell me what that's all about. To ensure continued purity of water discharged into the Columbia River. So economic development and ensuring that we take climate action. These historic investments underscore our ongoing commitment to pursuing all funding opportunities while enhancing community facilities and services, ensuring Gresham remains a thriving city for all of our residents. But even with all this good news and progress, the backbone for public safety in our community, our fire and police officers, they still need our help. They need, and we need, a dedicated fire and police levy to retain and hire more firefighters, more police, to meet the growing needs of our city. To give an example of what lives can be saved when we invest, we look no further than the fire at Timberline Lodge just this last week. To quote Captain Eric Byrne on Truck 71, that night, the response to Timberline Lodge is about an hour for us. Even so, we were the first fire truck, which is an aerial ladder truck, to arrive, and we're assigned overhead water. While the initial fire companies were able to keep the fire in check, they couldn't put the fire out due to the very large size of the lodge itself. Ultimately, it took overhead water from our truck to put the fire out. Obviously, our involvement on this fire was very impactful, and not just in terms that we were able to help stop the fire, but that we were instrumental in part to help save this iconic and historical landmark. This critical investment in our fire department that this community made and the council approved continues to make a difference. This apparatus with 4 people responding, it was a critical component to save the Timberline Lodge. This is what happens when we invest ourselves and invest in our community for community safety. This bravery is from our firefighter and our fire department, but it's also evident with our police officers. The unwavering dedication and heroism of the Gresham Police Department, whose diligent work brought closure to a case that lingered for over 4 decades. The murder of Barbara Tucker. A grievous chapter from January 1980 was finally resolved through relentless police work and advancements in forensic science. After the crime lab had a viable DNA profile from the original evidence, our detectives did not rest until they found a match, leading to the arrest and conviction of Robert Plimpton. This case highlights the critical need for supporting our law enforcement agencies. Despite facing budget constraints and staffing shortages, our officers and criminalists exemplified profound commitment to resourcefulness. Their efforts not only brought peace to a grieving family, but also stands as a beacon of justice in our community as we continue to face an increasing number of challenges, including a rise in homicide rates. This case underlies the pressing necessity to align our resources with the growing needs of Gresham. So, if you haven't already, please, later today, I would ask each of you to visit safegresham.org and lend your support to this larger community priority for the future of our city. Now, turning to economic security and opportunities, 2023 was a blockbuster year, laying the groundwork for more jobs and more opportunities for years to come. I want to highlight just 4 areas. First, the expansion of microchip technology in Gresham. With a combined investment of $83 million from federal and state CHIPS funding, this local technology industry giant is revolutionizing the work that they do. The expansion will add over 300 family-wage jobs, bringing the company's total employment to over 900 here in the city of Gresham. This is not merely an expansion, it's a commitment to Gresham's future as a leader in the high-tech sector. Now, Mayor Callaway is here today, and I look to him and his leadership over in Hillsborough, and we want to thank him for coming and crossing the Great Divide to come to the east side. But, there's just, we jest all the time. I always tell them we're coming for you because, of course, they're the economic engine in the state of Oregon. I don't do that. I don't do the air quotes for any reason but to say we're coming for you. Microchip Technology also remains a dedicated community partner, collaborating closely with Mount Hood Community College and local K-12 districts to foster educational and career opportunities in STEM fields. We got representatives from Mount Hood Community College in our school districts. Hello, Dr. Scari. We also want to thank them for their commitment to this community, including their contribution to the wastewater treatment facility and project, their creation of an on-site rest stop for first responders, and their adoption of a local elementary school for philanthropic efforts. That's all the stuff that Microchip Technology is doing. Secondly, welcoming Granger Development to the Gresham Vista Business Park, and we thank the port for your efforts there and everybody else on our economic development team for the great work. This massive project encompasses over 500,000 square feet on 48 acres and is set up to create over 150 family-wage jobs. It's slated to be operational by 2025. This development underscores the city's attractiveness to major industrial and logistics companies and promising to boost our local economy and our job market. Third, our career-connected learning initiatives. We can't do all this work without ensuring that we've got the workforce. And Gresham's commitment to economic development extends beyond immediate job creation and into the next generation. In 2023, we launched several career-connected learning initiatives, partnering with local schools to integrate real-world business experiences into the educational pathway. Those career fairs that we put together and classroom presentations are now allowing for active participation in the Career Technical and Education CTE program development we are building to provide a robust employment pipeline. These initiatives are designed to equip Gresham's youth with skills and opportunities needed to thrive in the evolving job market, ensuring that our economic development and growth is matched by the development of our future workforce. Fourth, economic security for those in need. In recent years, the city made one-time grants to help more than 80 small businesses recover from the impacts of COVID-19 and pursue new opportunities. 50% was reserved for women, minority, veteran, and emerging small businesses. In addition, we provided utility assistance to keep water flowing and lights on for those who are facing financial hardships, and made grants to nonprofit community groups to provide everything from food assistance, boxes of love for foster kids, and job training, and digital literacy for low-income residents. Taken all together, these private and public initiatives represent a leap forward in economic development and reflect our city's strategic vision to foster a prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable economic environment for everyone. But as we celebrate on these remarkable strides, I also want to remember and honor a remarkable leader whose vision and passion has been pivotal in our progress in economic development. Shannon Stady, who led our economic development operations until her untimely passing in February. Shannon was a beacon of positivity and pillar of our community. Shannon brought an infectious enthusiasm to everything she touched, whether at work or home, radiating positivity and drawing people together with her magnetic nature. Her dedication to Gresham and her unwavering belief in the potential of our city shaped much of what we celebrate today. All of us in Gresham and the Gresham community extend our gratitude and love for Shannon and her family and her friends. She will be missed, and in her honor, go Broncos. Everybody know I'm a Kansas City boy, and so I'm a huge fan of the Kansas City team. But Shannon was a huge, huge fan of that other team. So, with that, in the end, everything we do here in the city and beyond is for each other. As I conclude today's address, let's pause to reflect on our shared achievements and the paths we have paved towards a stronger, more resilient Gresham. It's in gatherings like these that we are reminded of the power of community and collaboration. Every step we take and have taken together, each milestone reached, has been made possible through the unity and dedication of every individual in this room and beyond. We are a city on the move, propelled by the courage of our first responders, the innovation of our businesses, and the caring spirit of our people. Our story is one of perseverance, progress, and overcoming obstacles with determination and foresight. It's a story that each of you contributes to every single day, and we are thankful because of it. As we look to the horizon, let us embrace the challenges, the opportunities that lie ahead with the same vigor and collaboration that have brought us this far. Let's continue to harness our collective strengths to foster an environment where safety and prosperity are attainable for all who call Gresham home. It is our shared responsibility, though, to nurture this city, to ensure it not only grows but thrives in the warmth of our care and commitment. Together, we will all continue to break new ground, to build bridges where divides might have existed, and to forge a future that reflects our deepest values and highest aspirations. Our journey is not about reaching destinations, but about sustaining the spirit of community that defines us. Thank you, and once again, for your tireless contributions, for your passion, for your belief in the potential of our great city. Here's to moving forward with renewed energy and optimism to making 2024 not just another year, but a standout chapter in the remarkable story of the city of Gresham. So let us go forth with our hearts united, our spirits high, ready to tackle whatever comes our way with the assurance that we do so together. I want to thank you and God bless. Thank you so very much. Thank you for coming. Don't go anywhere yet. We've got lots more to come. Thank you all. Thank you so very, very much. For the next part of our program, we have a special guest, a very special guest, Carrie Timchuk. Carrie is the Boyle Family Executive Director of the Oregon Historical Society, a premier institution dedicated to preserving Oregon's rich history. A respected figure in Portland, Carrie has been honored as the most admirable nonprofit executive in Portland. And he has also been recognized and received the Oregon Statesman Award of the Year from the Oregon Business and Industry. His extensive public service starts and includes roles as the Director of Speechwriting for the U.S. Secretary of Labor, Elizabeth Dole, legal counsel to Senator Bob Dole, and Oregon Chief of Staff to U.S. Senator Gordon Smith. Carrie's been busy. Carrie has also co-authored 4 books with the Doles and assisted in writing autobiographies for notable Oregon business leaders. And yes, our next guest is a 4-time Jeopardy champion, and he is actively involved in community service on several boards, including the AAA Oregon-Idaho Special Olympics of Oregon. He resides in Beaverton. That's okay. With his wife, Becky, and their 2 children. Please give us a warm welcome for Carrie Timchuk.
I'll take great cities for 200, please, Alex, here being in Gresham. Pleasure to be here today. And first of all, I want to congratulate Gresham. Your Gresham Historical Society is one of the finest historical societies in the state, so you should be very proud of it. And what some of you know, but some of you may not know, is Gresham is also the home to our 100,000 square foot secret vault, the Oregon Vault, where we keep the vast majority of the collection of our artifacts and documents and everything else that we have at OHS. So I frequent visitor out here to the vault, and a couple years ago we hosted a tour for the chamber, and I'm happy to do that again for others who want to see this amazing collection. But it's a pleasure to be with you today, this afternoon, and to join you in paying tribute to a remarkable public servant. And perhaps it's fitting that the Chamber asked me, as Executive Director of the Oregon Historical Society, to share some brief remarks today because Earl Blumenauer's public service career is truly historic. Since Oregon statehood on February 14th, 1859, Earl voted yes for that back then, 60 men and 8 women have represented Oregon in the United States House of Representatives. Only one, former Congressman Peter DeFazio, has served longer than Earl Blumenauer. And when he retires from Congress this coming January, Earl will have served in public office for 52 consecutive years. While I can't say with 100% certainty that there's not someone out there who's served for longer on some locally elected water commission, I think I'm safe to officially use the power invested in me as Executive Director of the Oregon Historical Society to hereby officially proclaim that Earl Blumenauer is the longest serving public servant in Oregon history, right here. So. More important than the remarkable duration of Earl's public service, however, is the quality of his public service. And no matter the position, from the state legislature to the Community College Board, to the Multnomah County Commission, to the Portland City Council, to the United States House of Representatives, Earl has made a positive difference. A positive difference for Gresham, for Portland, for Multnomah County, for Oregon, and yes, even for the world. I say the world because I suspect that if you were to ask Earl what accomplishment or legislation in his career gives him the most pride, it would be his authorship of the Senator Paul Simon Water for the World Act, which is the most comprehensive piece of international water policy to date and ensures that U.S. foreign aid programs bring effective water, sanitation, and hygiene programming to the poorest individuals around the globe. Countless lives will be saved by this bill for generations to come. Closer to home, of course, Earl has dedicated much of his career to protecting Oregon's natural beauty, and he has hiked and biked to many of those locations. But I would submit that Earl's true dedication to a clean environment can be seen in the fact, and this is absolutely true, that the one time he broke his foot, it didn't occur from hiking or from biking. It occurred when he tripped taking out the recycling. Earl, true story? Yeah. What I appreciate most about Earl, however, is that in a time when politics has become even more bitter and partisan, Earl has always looked for ways to build bridges, which is why it's very fitting that the bicycle and pedestrian bridge spanning I-84 and connecting the Lloyd District with Kearns in Northeast Portland is named for him. I know how much the late Senator Hatfield treasured his friendship with Earl and how Earl treasured his friendship with Senator Hatfield, and how honored he was that in the senator's last re-election campaign in 1990, Earl risked his career and crossed party lines to endorse him. Boy, should we see some of that more now these days. And I believe that these words of Senator Hatfield's actually and accurately capture what Earl has tried to achieve during his half-century of public service. Senator Hatfield said, "When a relationship is based on compassion and respect, it will stand the toll of any political difference." And he added, all of us need each other, and all of us must lift and pull together as we rise. All of us must rise together, powerful, free, one self-determined people. Join me now in watching this video, which shares the story of Earl Blumenauer's public service career.
The year was 1972. Richard Nixon was President of the United States. Tom McCall was Governor of Oregon. The population of Gresham was 12,000. And 24-year-old Earl Blumenauer became one of the youngest individuals ever elected to the Oregon State House of Representatives.
Not seeing Portland become a super city, and I think that's going to give the citizens less government, but more effective government, and I think in the long run it's a much better approach than city-county consolidation.
The world, our country, and Oregon have turned over innumerable times in the past half-century, but what has remained constant is Earl Blumenauer's dedication to public service. 6 years as an Oregon State legislator, 6 years as a Portland Community College board member, 8 years as a Multnomah County Commissioner, nearly 10 years as a Portland City Councilor, 28 years as a United States Congressman, 52 years of uninterrupted dedication to making Multnomah County, Oregon, and the United States better places to live, work, and raise a family.
Every bit as important as what we're doing with rail or the urban growth boundary or the downtown parking lid
is the cooperative efforts that we've had to make sure that we're building civic infrastructure.
Why have generations of Oregonians continued to elect and re-elect Earl Blumenauer? Well, there's his intelligence, and there's his effectiveness, there's his integrity, and there's his ability to put partnerships above partisanship. And perhaps there's his fashion sense. After all, who doesn't love a snazzy bow tie and a colorful bicycle pin? But above all, there are his ideas. When others offered sound bites, Earl Blumenauer offered innovative policies, policies that actually became reality. Curbside recycling, Earl's idea. Allowing police to seize the vehicles of repeat drunk drivers, Earl's idea. A robust network of bike lanes around Portland, Earl's idea. Portland streetcars, Earl and Mark Hatfield made it happen. Creating the Congressional Bike Caucus, which has successfully secured over $2 billion in increased funding for safe roads for biking and walking, Earl put the pedal to the metal to get it done. Writing legislation that protected 120,000 acres of wilderness and 80 miles of wild and scenic rivers in the Mount Hood National Forest and Columbia Gorge, generations to come will thank Earl for that. Saving more than 100,000 restaurants during the COVID-19 pandemic through the creation of a $28.6 billion restaurant revitalization fund. Earl helped to make it happen. The list goes on and on. And long before words like livability and infrastructure became cool, Earl was traveling the country preaching the gospel of environmental protection and mass transit. In January of 2025, Earl Blumenauer's 52 years in elective office will come to an end. What won't end, however, is Earl's dedication to the communities and state he has served so long and so well. The city of Gresham is proud to present Congressman Earl Blumenauer with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Mr. Mayor, I believe you have an award. Congressman Blumenauer.
So just want to take the moment and opportunity to say that, as a public servant, myself, I know what it takes, but to extend the service that you have for the state of Oregon, for our country, is something that's exemplary. And so just want to, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you for all that you've done, for all the areas that you've done work in, but specifically in transportation. I'm a cyclist. I also was on the TriMet board for 9 years, so appreciate your leadership there. And we are just truly honored to have you here today with us, but then also, representing us at the federal level. With that, we do have this wonderful award that we'll give you. And then we'll give you that's lethal. It is. With that, let's give a big round of applause for Congressman Earl Blumenauer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It was inspirational to have a chance to hear you talk about the initiatives and the progress that's taken place in Gresham. In a sense, my career started here. I was a junior Rotarian at Centennial High School and would come, I'd venture forth in the land of the Gophers and give status reports. I tried to get the kids to sing the Centennial Fight song, but that would have been a little bit much. When I come out to Gresham, I try every time to go a different route because they're never the same. You're having development here that's really exciting. Gresham has punched above its weight for years. And it's done so despite the fact that you had to struggle with some, I'm going to be delicate here because they're all dead, but decisions were made by some short-sighted public officials to, not hook up to sewers because, it just goes in the ground and disappears. Who thought that we would be drinking 14 million gallons of raw sewage through our emergency backup wells? The Multnomah County did not do the best job of using some pretty lavish transportation funding, built streets you could land a 747 on and advertise speed as fast as you can down this street, and didn't connect the pieces for pedestrian and bikes. You've been fighting against some of those short-sighted decisions ever since, and I think with some success. The notion that you fight against an unfair property tax system. Many people in Gresham pay higher property taxes than people in Laurelhurst on exactly the same value home. And that bites. People know that. The series of these decisions people in Gresham have had to overcome. But you've done that in terms of punching above your weight, moving forward with economic development, land use, transportation. I am immensely proud of what you've been able to do here as arguably the largest, densest city in the state with fewer resources. It's a really remarkable success story. And I'll divert just for a second with a word of political advertisement. It's been too often kind of put together with chewing gum and baling wire. It's not been a sustainable system. And it means you've been fighting uphill. I appreciate the notion that you're taking a step to perhaps provide some stability at the ballot box. And I commend each and every one of you to look at that carefully, because Gresham deserves the stability and the resources to be able to protect your families and your future. I will just say that it has been a delight to be part of a team that has worked with you. I've worked with probably 10 mayors in the past, people on the city council, people who've been county commissioners, metro councilors. The things that I'm getting kudos for are all team efforts. All team efforts. And I am proud of the teamwork that has been focused to be able to achieve so much for our community. And we know there's so much left to do. I am hopeful when I become a civilian in 7.5 months. Actually, if I'd known people would be so nice to me when I announced my retirement, I would have retired years ago. Years ago. It is really remarkable for me to watch what has happened in this community with the mosaic of elected officials, civic leaders, citizens who've rolled up their sleeves and not taken no for an answer. I commend you here. Gresham is one of the bright spots for me. I've been able to watch it over the years, making progress against the odds, and I know you're going to do a lot more in the foreseeable future. Now, I will be on your team as a civilian at the end of the year, but I will be no less interested in your progress and your success for what you mean for the state of Oregon. There is no more diverse set of work that you've done, the density of the housing, the work you've done with transportation. There's no other example that parallels that in our state. It's something you should be proud of, and something that we all need to rededicate ourselves to build on that foundation going forward. And I'm looking forward to being part of that with you. Thank you very much.
Congressman Blumenauer, retirement doesn't always work. I'll just let you know that. It's a little private joke. Sorry. It's been an honor for me, however trite it might sound. It's been an honor to me just to share the stage with you today. I don't know you very well, and I appreciate so much of what you've done for years and years and years. We never served together, but we served together side by side. So thank you for that. It's also been an honor to share the stage with the mayor and with Carrie Timchuk. Terry, I could tell you stories about Terry. It'll cost you because the chamber needs some revenue, but it's very fun. On behalf of the City of Gresham and the Chamber of Commerce, I want to thank you all for attending. When you leave today, I want to go back to my words. You make a difference and you're important. Please take every opportunity that you can, because Gresham needs you and you need Gresham. You're dismissed.